I say dot, y'all say twigs. When I say alright, y'all say crew, R.I.P. Stocktoberfest, community blend, we the best. Coronado, turn it up. What? Stock Beef fam, drink it up. Stocktoberfest, yeah. Community rip, we the best. Coronado, turn it up. What? Stock Beef fam, drink it up. Yeah. Stocktoberfest, let's go. Stocktoberfest, let's go. Stocktoberfest, let's go. Stocktoberfest, let's go.
What's up, guys? It's the Community Rip, and you're watching us live here Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's your boy Bags. I think GP, he's gone, but there's Nick. Nick, I don't know what to say about that new intro. But
I need a haircut is what I need.
It got GP off the stream, so it's just us. Hey, guys, welcome. Thanks for joining. Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were talking on our YouTube yesterday about CoreWeave. We didn't mention Oracle, but we've got two rippers in the market today. You want to talk about either of those?
Yeah. I mean, CoreWeave, it pretty much kind of played out almost exactly. The only, issue was that, like, you didn't really get an intraday opportunity at that, like, the 105 pivot.
No, I just
which, I was kind of thinking about CoreWeave and, a lot of the intraday action that we've been seeing where, we've been seeing quite a bit of intraday volatility. You continually see, like, the morning lows get tested, but a lot more often than not, we're seeing them hold. And if you had a bullish bias currently, you could have easily taken the trade on CoreWeave versus that, that pivot low back in August. If it was a name on your radar, you were into IPO names, like, I don't know why. Anyways, looking at it, I was kind of bummed the trade got taken away from me, but it is what it is. I think if you're not currently long, like I'd kind of tweeted earlier, I think as long as price kind of stays above that 111, 115 area, you could probably at least buy a back test. You'd want to see it hold that probably that 100, 105. But yeah, fantastic call. It's still even, honestly, if you, that I'm looking at it again, it's finding a little bit of resistance at the upper trend line if you have kind of that descending channel. I don't know why mine looks a little bit, a little bit more like that.
That's why.
So you could, you might think we see a little bit of pause here, and then you've got another trend line to kind of play against. But the volume is so huge here that I think this candle is really the one that you want to play against. So, let's say price gets weak or the market sees some overall weakness. I'd be looking to enter on a reclaim of the 109, like 109.25, 109.50. So, like, if I saw price undercut that low and then reclaim it, I think that would be a kind of a low risk entry. I'd be looking to buy the reclaim. I wouldn't necessarily be looking to buy the spike low into that. Just how I'd be looking at it.
Yeah, I think we defined it yesterday, this 105 area, and it gapped over that. So I think you still got some room to play. I'm not saying it's coming down here to do this, but I would say somewhere between 105 and 109, I would still be okay with taking that long.
Yeah.
You
if pending could get a
shake me out
strong
of my bags if this was something I wanted to be in.
Yeah, I mean, pending we get a strong close today, I would define today's move as a 50-day pocket pivot. And how I define a pocket pivot is a wide range bar through kind of a major moving average on like above average volume. So today's volume and today's bar definitely stands out to me. Yeah.
Well, just look at that. That's the third most volume of all time.
I would assume so. This is all coming off the back of who reported last night that just absolutely went on the tear. Oracle, that's right.
Oracle, who is not in the NASDAQ, who is a New York Stock Exchange stock here. Look at that guy.
I mean,
it was up 40-something% earlier. We're just sitting at a lovely 38%.
Yeah, what a monster.
I remember I want to say it was months ago, but it might have been a year or so ago. I think your GP won, and we can talk to GP when he gets in here. Your GP won, or we're saying Oracle just looks fantastic, and it was based on, I think all of these are earnings gap ups. Was that you or is that GP?
I can't really say. I do a lot of chirping.
Okay.
So I might have. Pulling up the weekly chart that I have, I've got quite a few lines drawn on it. I'm sure that I did say it looked good because it basically, other than the tariff sell-off, it basically just built out a massive base through 2022 into 2023, and then it went base on base right after, and then essentially just kind of trended higher from there. You had the tariff sell-off, which, the more I look at these charts, it's like, man, one, we held an incredible area when we did have the tariff sell-off, and two, the setup coming out of that was pretty good too. I mean, just kind of looking at it, especially on the weekly, that 160 area. I mean, if you were in this thing, like, God, you had no reason to sell.
Right?
Yeah,
You're
totally
happy. You love it.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I kind of teased my question that I was setting up to you with a name that is not in the NASDAQ, that's on the New York Stock Exchange. And I pulled up the Qs here, and we're seeing this for a second time.
Yeah.
Reaching all-time highs. And this morning was a gap up on all-time highs. And we faded right back down to yesterday, basically. Yesterday's close nearly. We're almost net zero for the day. Has Fady McFaderson entered the chat? Are you surprised to see this action? Are you concerned to see this action? Because yesterday you were pretty bulled up.
No, I think, again, stock pickers market, there's plenty of names out there that are working and ripping. Just looking, I mean, Apple and Amazon, and even Meta, a little heavy than the rest. I'm not too concerned about it. Intraday, when I see a gap up, if the gap fills within that first 60 minutes, I kind of assume it's going to be an outside reversal, kind of a trend down day. And we didn't fill that gap within the first 60 minutes. We still actually haven't even filled it yet. Looks like 580.50 is kind of the gap fill. So you could argue the double top, but I don't know why you'd be calling a double top in this market.
I mean, Bulls got to get their call right, or Bears got to get their call right. Sometimes Bulls have their way.
Yeah. Going back and forth with MBG, I think, kind of as I said, well, maybe it was last week or yesterday, I don't remember, but kind of going into the Fed, I'm not really sure if I would rather see us kind of rally into it, sell off, or, how that kind of plays out. We obviously got to take it a day, a week at a time. I don't really get to choose how we behave and how we move, but I don't know. There's nothing that I see that I'm. Oh, actually, SNPS was actually the only real landmine that I saw. Someone mentioned in one of the Discord groups that I've been in, like, that thing got absolutely smoked. But
30%.
going, really thinking about the month of September and how we've, largely what we've discussed kind of going into the month, it is a typically kind of a shitty month. So again, like if you've got cushion, there's no reason to be worried, I don't think. If you don't, small and nimble is the way to go. But yeah, I don't know. What about you?
Well, no, another name that was ripping earlier today, Broadcom. And I posted my chart on StockTwits, which looks so beautiful, this big old long channel that it's been riding in. And it's at the top of the channel. I mean, every indicator is flashing that this is hot, right? The RSIs, and it's hot. But my cost basis is 100% ago now.
Yeah, same.
Like, why do I sell out of this position, right? Like, maybe I trim some, but I don't sell out of this position here.
No, I mean, you know me, for the most part, I'm a trail stopper, so there's absolutely no reason to touch it. I can't tell you how many times like I'll want to sell out of something and just say, you know what, I'll give it to the end of the day or give it to the end of the week, raise my stops a little bit tighter than I probably normally would. Sometimes I get stopped out and other times I don't, and it's like keeps you in the trade.
Yeah. I did trade a few things out yesterday while we were on the show and after the show, just trading things because I expected this week to be bullish, as I'd said before, and we haven't seen a crazy up week, but in some of these names I would argue it's quite euphoric. So I raised a little bit of cash. I want to put some more money to work. That came after my week last week of buying a few things. So I knew these were, small trades. So, I took MRVL when it got hit from its earnings disappointment. Nice little 7% trade. I basically took a small loss on SMCI, but look at it now, like you big dummy bags. You should have just waited. Hi, GP. GP's back. Hello.
I don't have a stable connection, so I don't know if it's going to be great.
I can hear you.
We're having an outage here. Sorry, guys.
It happens. It's the
Okay.
wonderful magic of the internet. GP, I have to ask, did you get to see our wonderful intro?
A bit. It was in and out. Literally, it was cutting outage hit exactly at 2:01 at 2 p.m. Eastern, the outline standard time, because you know how this goes.
Yeah.
Damn internet.
We can have robots and AI, but we can't get a consistent stream for GP. What in the world's going on? I think he's trying to talk. But
It's interfering. Let me know. I'll just sign off until I can get connected. Just
Hey GP, we were just chatting about the market as a whole, and we started off with the two rippers, CoreWeave and Oracle. But I pointed out, this is the second time we've gone up to a new all-time high here, and all of a sudden we're back to the prior day's close, and he's gone. So we'll try back with GP.
Get it back. Yeah,
we'll try back with GP in a minute. So Nick, there's no reason to be concerned. You're not selling anything. Are you looking to get long more things? Are you just happy and content sitting in what you have?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. If anything, I'd likely be selling a little bit and kind of paring down just into the Fed meeting. Just, I don't know. Everything looks so good. I don't know. I'm not really looking to really get into anything at the moment. I guess maybe that's a better answer. I shouldn't say that I want to sell down, but we'll have to see how the kind of the action is, next week, the next, Monday, Tuesday.
We took a little while yesterday on crypto, and we talked about strategy for a minute. And strategy really is running that 50 weekly, that yellow trend right there, that yellow moving average. I think I'm going to step in and buy some once this dips underneath it and pops back up.
Sure.
That goes along with my crypto heavy thesis right now. And I don't expect Bitcoin to outperform, but strategy has outperformed Bitcoin. So that's sort of my way of playing that.
Looking at the weekly, you got the weekly up. I could see taking a stab at like that 295, 300. There's a lot of tight closes right there back in, if you got kind of an inverse head and shoulders kind of drawn out. Yeah. Obviously, it wouldn't look so much like an inverse head and shoulders. Well, maybe it still would. But you got a lot of tight closes right there. I don't know. Do you use one of those like the volume shelf thing that I see a lot of guys?
Got that baby for you.
Is there a shelf right there in that 300 area? I would imagine so.
VP. There we go. There's your volume shelf. Does that help you?
So it's kind of it. So it looks like it's like in a bit of a pocket there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta get through the dead bodies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like those tight closes right there, like kind of right where you have those purple lines drawn.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm being patient. I'm not too worried about it. There's a lot of negativity about this one, and I understand it, right? Like there's people think it's fraudulent. People think whatever people want to think. But just again, technicals. I like taking a stab at. I could be wrong. I'm prepared to be wrong.
Bitcoin looks like it's the trend lines that I have drawn, at least on Bitcoin, kind of looks like it's breaking out today. It's pushing into the declining 50-day, but it's again like where I have the kind of the trend lines drawn. So I drew a descending trend line connecting the lows first, and then just created a parallel line and dragged it up, starting at that July 14th high is basically how I have it drawn. So I'm kind of ignoring that that spike high into like that 122. Yeah, I have a line drawn right through there. Nope, other direction. So from like the July 15th high, and then connect to the August 23rd high. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's attempting to break out. Again, like I said, I'm kind of ignoring that spike, that the push through, that breakout failure. A lot of times I look for symmetrical movement. So, price did kind of break higher. It failed. But I would kind of argue that wide range bar spike to the low end of that trend line was kind of the breakdown failure, and now we're going to kind of push higher out of here. But
what's up with our chat? There's no one in the chat.
Yeah, is it working?
Chat, holla at us.
Stocktoberfest, I feel like it was pretty quiet today. I don't know. I guess just from the kind of the stuff I've been seeing on the internet, man, I've been trying to stay off too, because it's I don't know, a lot.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy's over on the YouTubes. Hey, Randy.
Oh, GP. Yeah, GP. Let's see, let me pull that up. I think GP tweeted the Stocktwits YouTube.
The one. YouTube link. That's okay.
I'm going to pop in there too.
Randy's here. He's in the. We found you, Randy. We were looking in the Stocktwit. Yeah, Ryan. The chat is dead. I know. That's what we're trying to revive. Oh, we do have some good news to share, and we're very pleased to inform everyone. And we would like for you guys to join us in Coronado for Stocktoberfest, October 20 through 22nd. Tickets are on sale at Stocktoberfest.stocktwits.com. I'm going to pull up that site if I can figure out how to drive again. I got too many tabs open.
Hey, I'm just happy to be able to open multiple tabs on this new MacBook.
Yeah, you got a new machine. You got a new Apple MacBook Pro, and now the Apple stock is tanking. So what's up with
yeah. I don't know.
What's up with that? So there we go. StockTwits presents Stocktoberfest. I think this is just going to be a fun time, and we're excited to be there. StockTwits is about the community. Stocktoberfest is about the community. So we hope to see whoever makes it there come see us. Holla at your boys. We'll be there. We'll be, milling around, schmoozing. You can tell them, hey, Bags, you're the worst TA person I've ever seen. And Nick, you're the best. And we'll just have a good laugh about it. And we'll post each other. And, we'll try to stalk Tom Lee. How about that?
Totally. Looking forward to it.
I got words for Tom Lee.
Oh, there's GP. He brought in the iPhone. Hey, the Apple is down big time because Nick bought a MacBook Pro, GP.
It's retesting the breakout.
I know. GP, are you excited about Stocktoberfest? I just let everybody know the great news.
I am actually very, very excited, not just for us, but for the entire community. I think the traction that StockTwits is starting to get is really it's really nice to see after being here over a decade. We've gone through multiple iterations at StockTwits of being users, and it's nice to see it's all finally, they've finished their consolidation phase, as we would say in the technical analysis world, and they're ready to break the hell out. And so I like to see that from their perspective, and obviously we're here to support it as much as we can, and them supporting us in this journey has been awesome. So big shout out to everyone on the team there.
Thanks, Max. Shout out, Max.
So yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to grilling Tom Lee because I got words for him.
What's your words for Tom Lee? Let's do a preview of it now. I'm Tom Lee. Buy Ethereum.
Right.
Buy some Ethereum.
Forget Ethereum, right? His S&P target is what we talked about in 2023, and all these guys now starting to get on board. Get on board. Been stealing my charts for over 2 years. I'm only joking, but it'll just be really nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, totally. Well, you got an opportunity. You met quite a few guys out there when you were up there for the award show, yeah?
Yeah, I did. It was a lot in terms of people, so it was more like a drinking.
We can hold each other's hand. It'll be good.
Yeah. This is gonna be a bit more like you actually get a chance to chat markets and stuff. There, you're trying to compete with music and other people and other stuff like that. So
sure,
it's a different vibe.
Well, how are you feeling heading into the week, GP?
Outside of like half an hour of the show.
Oh, yeah. we were talking CoreWeave, the Q. I think Ben was just about to ask you about your thoughts on the Qs, kind of fading into the day.
Peterson, yeah.
It's the typical pattern for us, which is breakout in the morning, retested intraday, and then kind of close strong. It's been happening for months now. It's literally the same pattern over and over again.
So we're going to see a strong close today is what I just heard.
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest kind of X factor for me continues to be small caps. It not reacting well. It's still not taking out all-time highs is cautionary for sure. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like maybe I'm missing something, right? In terms of what the price action is. So yeah, I still think we're on our way to 6740, right? The same level we've been talking about. So once we tag that, I think it'll be a little bit more stronger downside. And I'm hoping we tag that into OPEX of next week. It's what, about a 4% move?
Is it?
Approximately. Yeah, we're at 65.30, 65.25, 67. It's about 210 points, right? 215 points. So that's about 3-4% move. It's not the end of the world, right? We can see we have the FOMC, we have CPI coming up. So I think that's possible. But then I would be concerned on that tag. But like this is all pivot based trading, right? For the most part, like if you guys are looking at this, look at how many times Tesla has rejected 355 to 358. They've done it twice just today, right? It was on this monster rager, and then all the buying just pretty much stopped as soon as it hit 355, and then it's been kind of distributive, nothing crazy, but yeah, I think things are like everything that was strong yesterday is now weak. So.
I love the beautifully formed round bottom there. Like you couldn't get much more symmetrical than that. I can't draw symmetrical, but it is nice. It's still going to 400.
It is, and everyone's anticipating it. So the more people will anticipate it, the harder it will become. As I've maintained for quite a few months, it has to gap out of this. It's the only, my opinion, that's the only way to force people to actually cover, right? They are naked short selling the crap out of calls consistently every day. The market opens at 9:30 and 9:30 a.m. with 1 second. They are selling hundreds upon hundreds of calls. Got to that 355 delay level, and the ridiculousness of the calls that are being sold at that level was just nonsense. So I still maintain this has been a Tesla trade for many, many, many years. The only way it gets out of resistance is a gap and go, right? So it doesn't casually just break through resistance. That's not how it's style.
Is it going to gap and go Oracle style, or is it going to gap and go QQQ style from today?
Oh,
I think
that would be something to see.
Tesla style. It won't be Oracle because there's no reason for it. It'll be Tesla style, right?
So like a 380, 390 pop and then go.
So 388 is the level that I think honestly needs to clear for actual upside, right? Like if we get to 388 and we get rejected, that's the gap down area from earlier this year, end of December area.
Yeah.
So I think that's the level we should be watching ultimately. Obviously this 355 to 358 level, which is the June highs, which is the October breakout, which is the list out the 742 other resistance points in this area from 2021. There's a lot of supply here to get through, and
I'm not having it, GP. I'm not having it. I'm not feeling it. It's going to go 40%. It's going to go 40% because I've had a $500 sell order for I don't know how long, and it's going to trigger on that pop. It's going to go 40%, just like Oracle did.
Yeah, so I think it does. I think it's more than 40%. I think whenever they let this go, which is why they won't let it go, it's going to be well over 100% move, right? So this coil, this base, this whatever you want to call it, it may be on deliveries, it may be on earnings, it may be on Elon making friends with Trump again. I don't know what the reason will ever be because we never really know. But ultimately, this move, the crescendo, like I love the spin Twitters who like I feel like they've only started trading Tesla in the last year or two, right? Like, oh, if it breaks out, it's gonna get to 363, and I'm like, The fuck kind of target is that, right? This is Tesla. When it breaks out, it is
Gone.
100. Yeah, dude. Oh, if it I get it. It's been hitting resistance. Don't get me wrong. It's been frustrating, but when this thing is ready to move, the move has typically been, if you even look back at the last 4 years, last year it went from 213 to 488. That's 144, 150% move in 2 months. The move before that was 138 to 270. So about 100% move there. The ascending triangles in this chart have delivered quite often in Tesla. So I think the move out of here, I hope into end of year is closer to 700, if not higher.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. The width of the base is 300 points. So if you just extend that up, that puts you right at 700, and then like you might as well just call the round number. It's gonna head up to 1,000. Riley was talking about it on his I can't remember if it was his Godspeed show or I can't remember what show he was on this morning, but he had a good point. You know, it's like with Tesla, and I guess to your point as well, it's like you don't know what is going to be necessarily the catalyst or even when it's going to come. If you're a longer term investor or somewhat of a position / trend trader, you might as well just have a starter on. Like a starter that's basically probably meaningless, so that when it does gap, you're gonna leg in. It keeps your costs down. I mean, we're obviously not talking to like the long term guys, like you guys that have been in you've been in forever. But I don't know. I just don't. You can't bet against him. This thing's gonna go. Oh, to answer Mr. Wright's question real quick in the chat, I don't know if I'm not really sure. I think if the market overall goes into like a kind of a serious correction consolidation mode for whatever the case may be, I wouldn't imagine Tesla like fighting that trend. I would imagine though, if that is the case, that Tesla would be the one that leads us out of it. It's kind of how I would be.
I think that's reasonable, Nick. I don't think if we're going to see any type of pullback, whether it's next week or any type of correction, I don't think anything's going to be safe. I think everything's going to pull back. It's just how much does everything pull back, right?
Yeah. Randy's talking about sex bots in the chat room.
The pullbacks you'd be watching for are the rising 50.
We're famous,
right? So I think the pullbacks to be watching for is to the rising 50 weeks in stronger bases and names.
Yeah. That's kind of just, again, as much as I hate the analogies, if you go back to the kind of 2020 Qs chart, we're already in a base and we're already in a range. So I just would rather not see us go into that straight chop sideways into the end of the year. But I don't know, we'll see.
So we got a question from our homie VPA. He wants to know about net, and I will take this one. I love me some net. Net hit all-time highs today. And yeah, Oracle took a lot of names with it. So I think the question is, how do I feel about net? I mean, I'm completely de-risked in net. I've traded around net for a while. I see nothing wrong with the company. To me, I mean, I'm not saying buy right here, but if you're not a seller and you're holding, you're essentially a buyer, right? So I still like it. I'm still in from way back. So unless something significantly changes in the company, I see no reason to get rid of it. And you look at the weekly, yeah, this week's move is a big move off of that 9 weekly moving average. But it's pretty much ridden that thing the whole way. So while it may be extended from the 20 and the 50, it's not completely away from everything like some others are. So I still like it. I wouldn't be throwing on large positions here at $220.
Yeah.
But it can still trade. It's all about time frame, right, Nick?
Totally. IGV is kind of seeing a little bit of weakness, selling off as it kind of tests those highs, which I've, on pretty heavy volume again. Like we've got another nice candle to kind of play against. I mean, I'm not trading the IGV specifically, but within those names.
It already has as much volume today or this week as it did all last week, and we're only on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We also have Adobe reporting tonight. I won't go into Adobe again. You guys beat me up enough and smacked me around on Adobe yesterday that I'll just leave it. So when it gaps up 20% today, I'll make sure to leave that in your feed later this evening.
That totally makes sense. I'm game with that.
It's fun to clown around. Larry Ellison's mustache. I love your handle, Larry Ellison's mustache. That is primo, chef's kiss. He wants to know about gold, and I don't know what more we can tell you about gold. We've talked about gold for a long time on this pod, but once it broke out to all-time highs, that maybe just keeps trucking. GLD.
Yeah, what a move today. I didn't even see that. Wicked right off the 10-day. Man. I mean, personally, I think this thing's heading. I think it's heading to like 5,000 easily. That's kind of where I think it's going. It's just a power trend. Bobby, what is this? What's this question in particular?
He just said gold, and I was like, hell yeah, we'll talk about gold.
I mean,
this
like
is the base, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is not exactly what you're talking about in Tesla, but look at this. We've got 150 monthly bars.
Yeah.
The wider the base, the higher 30-year base. 30 or 37-year base?
From 2011.
I mean, the miners are on fire. All of them. The only one that's like, I think currently set up is RGLD because it's still kind of under that, that 190 kind of pivot high. But the rest of them are just like gone.
I'm just throwing a little something together on futures that I kind of just saw. Oh, man. I hate when I do this.
What's that?
Just measure moves.
Okay. I think the measure moves is definitely an interesting kind of, especially if you're using Fib extensions and the Fib. Those are some pretty accurate things that happen. Like the SPX chart I shared in 2023 was the Fib extensions from the 1987 crash, right? And so they've been pretty bang on. And IWM, I just shared this afternoon, which is from the GFC crash, right? And so on the monthly, the IWM is going to 325, and so it's like they can FAFO here all they want.
Hey, GP, do you use Fibs on everything? You throw a Fib on everything?
Than they do on have 8% trade of the move. And so the actor in terms of where probably buyers, and if they don't, they're run for
They're scrambling GP. They don't want us to know about his legendary Fibonacci pivots. GP, you there? There he is. Hey, there you are.
We lost you.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. The Fib extensions I use on larger time frames, if that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't use a fib on anything lower than a weekly.
Yeah.
But what I was asking about, like, you throw it on every chart that you're looking at.
No, index based, right? So I want the overall trend, right? What the overall trend is this a blip in the overall trend? Yes. Okay, then we got to find the places where it makes sense, right? And so when you have a retrace in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, you're probably in good company buying that bottom. Whether you believe it's not going to be a bottom.
Randy said the CI is blocking the stream, GP. Nobody wants you to see what we're saying.
I use them all the time. I love them. Especially like I like him when I think typically I'll throw fibs on from like a pivot low to a current pivot high. Other times I'll measure it from like the breakout low. So when we saw all the the Qs were kind of building out that kind of inverse head and shoulders look, and we had the gap and go bar on like May 12th. I'd throw fibs from there to the highs, really just to kind of give myself an idea of when and where I think I'm like really wrong. And so typically, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were asking about XBI. I know this is something that you look at. I've got the XBI chart pulled up here. You want me to do it on the monthly or the weekly? Which do you prefer?
Let's go to the weekly.
And I got my fibs ready.
Yeah.
Where would you start the fib, and where would you take it down to? Would you start it here? Would you start it up here? Where would you start it, and why?
No, I'd measure from the low to high, so from like 60, 66, 65, and I'd measure it up to kind of the current high, which is 96. So the XBI in particular is in let's just call it a stage 1 base. It's in a base, right? Mm-hmm. As price pushes up to the high end of that base, it's you kind of want to anticipate some selling heading into the highs probably, but your likelihood or you're increasing the odds, increasing your odds staying on the right side of that bet so long as price holds the stronger upper fib levels. So like in any major trend, I would say that a 50% retracement is perfectly healthy and perfectly normal. It might not look the prettiest or even feel very good. But then obviously if price holds like the 0.23 or the 0.382, you got to be thinking to yourself like, all right, price has ripped off the lows, pushed to the high end of the base, and let's say it held the 0.23 and it, price just goes sideways, you got to be thinking like, fuck, this is really strong. So if I'm not in if I'm trying to trade the ETF specifically, I'm not necessarily trying to like pick a low to enter. I'm just trying to give myself a gauge as far as how strong this particular name or this sector is. I know that there's plenty of people that'll be like, price pulled into the 0.382. I'll throw a, but if you are a pullback trader, if you find those fib levels in alignment with, let's say, a volume shelf or some converged moving averages, or on multiple time frames, like if you were to pull up a monthly and a weekly and you see that on the weekly it's holding like, I don't know, the 0.382, and on the monthly it's holding like the 50 or something like that. You can kind of find these areas of confluence to give you a better overall picture. I love fibs. I think they're great. I think anything under the 0.5 though, I kind of ignore. For me, same thing with the extensions. I don't really do much with extensions either. the extent of how I measure moves or like extend price out is like just your typical ABCD leg higher. So I'll measure
I would
like
take it the other way, Nick. I would start from my most recent high and take it down to my most recent low.
okay.
And then I would see it on the way up. So this is the one I just threw up. I'll get the one that you out of the way here. So this
walk
is
me
the
through
way I
this.
would see it on the way up, right? The one is where you started the line, and you want to see it run to the 1618, basically.
Sure. The pullback. Now that you say that, if you were bearish the XBI, you go back to yours. You can take mine off of there. If you were bearish the XBI, you would have wanted to see price fail at the 0.5, in my opinion. It's another area to trade against. So like if you see price reclaim the 0.5, I would be in the camp the price is going to continue in that direction.
Yeah,
so
and you've got the confluence there. So this is why I use multiple indicators. I don't always keep them on my charts, but I like to have them to cross-reference, right? The more points of data that I have to reinforce my bias or convince me that I'm wrong, the more probability I find in my favor, right? So for the XBI in this instance, I would have used this right here, and you're exactly right. The 0.5 would have lost all three major moving averages down here, right, on the weekly time frame. And you guys know how I love the moving averages. But anything pulling into there basically is a buy. So once you went above, you had two chances to still get in and make, what is that, 6%?
That on a longer term basis, like again, if we're looking at the XBI on the weekly and it's in a stage one base, right? And you're entering at the 0.5, you're mid range. That's such low risk, especially if you're not legging in until it actually breaks out or puts in some like high tight pattern at the top of the range. So like if you're entering the XBI at, let's say 82, 83, with the intention of adding, it's going to keep your cost down. Didn't mean to interject there.
So, no. That's great. I don't use the Fibonacci a lot. I don't use the extension or the retracement a lot. Sometimes you can get mixed messages, right, from what you've already charted by adding in more inputs. Sometimes I like to flash them up there just to see. And, I want to see, just because it's me and this is the way I like to, I said that I like this MSTR trade. Well, let's throw the Fibs on there. Would you, for the extension, would you use this high wick on the weekly, or would you use this most recent high wick?
I suppose generally I don't, like I said, I'm not using Fibs quite the way you are, but I would probably use the most recent. So I'd use the most recent as far as let's see. So
basically this would be the retracement,
right?
And then this would be the extension.
So kind of within this base that MSTR is in, it looks like 333 kind of is where the 50% from, let's say, just 200 to 460. Yeah, that would actually work out really well. I think the channel would continue to descend down. I think that wouldn't be that'd be a pretty good entry actually on the rebound.
Well, we will have to see. I know we got a bunch of other questions, so I don't want to stay on our pet projects, but Duolingo, which has been a popular name. Any action here from you on Duolingo?
Not for me. I think your risk is pretty low here because you'd obviously just stop out under this week's low. It's also kind of retesting the base it built back in end of 2023, 2020, early 2024.
Good eye, Nick.
But, you know, it's kind of a dumpster dive trade. I think in the same idea that we were just in the same idea, if you're throwing at least a starter on here with your stop under this week's low, you're probably not going to want to leg in until it clears 400, and kind of play it from there and just see how it sets up or what it looks like. I think that there's so much moving right now that I'd kind of replied to a few people. You know, they had asked about other names, and I said, you know, there's so much moving. It's tough to really want to buy stuff that's like mid base or within a base because you're running the risk of dead money. You know, if you have a long-term thesis and, you know, a bull case of why you want to enter this, then, you know, by all means. But from a trading perspective, you kind of want to be in what's moving and what's trending. But anyways, yeah, it certainly has been a hot name. It actually is sitting right on a soup. Oh, actually, holy shit. It's sitting on a long-term trend line too, actually, beginning back in 2023, which this week's low was that third touch of that trend line. So, you know, but I mean, it's not a bad look. Looks like Spolk had questions on Prime. I think Prime looks pretty good.
Prime for a minute yesterday.
Yeah, I think your B point is 520. So, you know, if you're long this thing, you're looking to add through the 520. I'd have my eyes set on about like 7.25 is where my first target would be. But I would imagine if you're getting into Prime, you're probably looking for a bigger move than that. It is busting, you know, it is busting trend.
Yeah, I'd say somewhere around that $7 spot would probably be my trim. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're up 100%, you greedy bastard.
yeah, for sure. Let's see. What other
Lulu.
Yeah, I don't that was kind of another landmine. It was already in a it's a bummer that GP is out of commission because I would have been curious his take on the Lulu range being kind of like a stage 3, because there are definitely a lot of big red volume candles. More red big volume candles stick out to me than the green volume bars. So I would imagine he would have argued that this was in already a kind of a distribution phase before it kind of broke out. So now it's technically in a stage 4 decline. I don't know whoever was asking about it. I'm not sure if they're long or short, but I'm not the best short side trader. It's, you know, definitely something I'm always kind of working on. And you're obviously fighting the overall trend by taking a short. I don't know where I would be looking to. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be looking to like catch the knife here by any means, but
you know, Nick, you know I love the Batman, and I drew it up there.
Yeah.
I think you're getting close to that capitulation bottom here, and I'm not ready to call a bottom, but if I look right here, that's where we're at, and that is an area of interest in the past.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously a hot brand. I think, at least as far as I know. It's active where too, you know, there's definitely I don't know.
I have no interest. I have no position, but I can understand why somebody might want to take a stab. I'm known to dumpster dive a time or two.
Speaking of if I was looking at retail, probably one of my favorite retail names out there right now. I don't have a position, but Boot, BOOT.
Boot barn.
Yeah, like it's
Monster.
It is. It's just kind of sitting up there at highs. I've never been there. I have no idea what it's about, but I have a tough time.
Western wear, farm gear.
Oh, all right, fair. Yeah. Trying to think of what other retail names I kind of pay attention to. They pop up, on my watch list periodically, but I'm so disconnected from like people that like shop all the time. Yeah, she's not really a shopper either. So it's like, speaking of which, like, we went to Dick's Sporting Goods and I was like blown away. I went to Best Buy yesterday to get a new computer. I'm like, holy shit, it's like everything's changed and I'm just disconnected from all of that. So it's hard for me to really wrap my mind around it. But
yeah, I like it. I threw a quick channel up. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously it's at the top of the channel, and what happens when it breaks through the top of the channel? It goes into another channel above it, or it falls back into the channel that it's in. Volume is drying up a little bit, but it just that's what, a 5-year span there from 21 to 25. That's a pretty strong chart.
Yeah. Yeah. What else we got? Anybody have some charts they want to run through?
We are running out of time.
Oh, we're running out of time. Shit.
Yeah,
2 o'clock.
Crazy. Randy wants us to look at Levi's. Yes, Randy, we'll look at Levi's. We will. Hey, Stairs. Good to see you.
Yeah, I like Levi. I like the. I guess, would you still consider this an IPO base since it hasn't really taken out the IPO highs, or just a stage 1 base? Either way,
Levi's, yeah, I would consider this still an IPO base. Absolutely.
You're kind of nearing that, 20. The 24, 25 area. I know Randy loves his jeans, so.
I would look at that as the base right there. That's how I
totally
look at it.
Same.
Above, what is that, $24? It's party time, but it's got to hold it and sustain it. That's a monthly time frame, but we can go back down to the weekly, and yeah, it's got to beat $24.
Yeah.
I don't know how many dead bodies it's got. It shouldn't have. I wouldn't think it has a lot, but we'll look. It's not too bad. Yeah, I think it's going to stall up here around 26 probably, but 26, 27. But hey, what is that? Like 18%? Yeah, 20% from there. What's not the love?
Yeah.
Nick, we're at the time. Final thoughts?
I'll give you a quick 30 seconds on the last few names. AAXA, I don't even want to pull up your names because they always look freaking good. LMND, same thing. Stage 2, it's kind of putting in a second tight week close here. 10 week is rising. It's technically stage 2, although I do want to see the 5960 get taken out for some continuation. I don't really want to see the 10-week fail here. ONDS, same thing. Kind of looks like a 3-week tight in the making. 10-week is catching up. I know they had some news on an offering yesterday, and it seems like it's all getting bought up. I think that was the last 3 I saw in the chat. Other than that, hey, have a plan, follow your stops, and trade them well. We'll see you.
We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
So, thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah,
GP, we miss you. We'll be sure. He had some internet outages, but those technical issues will be solved next week. We can't wait to have GP back with us. But thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the Community Rip Live right here on StockTwits. We'll see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern.